folks, Harley Day right here, back at you once again, your good old friend HDR. Back out here on the 2011 Harley Electric Glide Classic. Today, to put this into perspective for you, that's a cool looking house. Today, to put this in perspective for you, today is November the 4th of 2017. And it's a pretty decent day, I have to say, and but what brought me out here ended up not bringing me out here. Now let me explain that a little bit. I really have no topics for you today, so hopefully you're not looking for any question. I might have a question of the day. Let's see. We'll see how this goes. Anyway, you might remember from my past videos, every year we go in, it's called the Mileage Challenge. Now what the Mileage Challenge is our local organization, our local HOG chapter here, the Washington, PA chapter. Each year, in accordance with our Harley dealership that they're associated with, Steel City Harley-Davidson, they do what is known as the Mileage Challenge. Now what the Mileage Challenge is just that. Who can ride the most miles in 1 year? And what happens is, at the beginning of the year, you go in, you get your mileage read, naturally you get the odometer read. Then you take the paper and you put it, I take mine and I put it in my dresser drawer. I don't need to have it on the bike because it's going to get ripped up or crinkled or going to lose it. So I take it home and I put it in the dresser drawer for safekeeping. Once you're done with that, you go back in the end of the year, about now. Hence, today was the day I was going to the Harley dealership. And you get your ending mileage read. Hopefully I'll still get another at least half decent day to ride over there and let them read the mileage. If not, then I don't get included in the mileage challenge, right? Because I have no ending mileage. Well, today I noticed that they were having a Toys for Tot run with the Marines, which is great. It's a great organization, and it's great to do that. I got up this morning, I started getting dressed, and I had to be there by 11 o'clock. Now when I looked at the clock, it was about 10:30. I thought I could still make it, but it happened to be 40 degrees outside, and I said I thought I was going to wait a little bit before I take the motorcycle out. So I missed the Toys for Tot run, and very down upon that. Now I can always stop by when I do go down there. I'll definitely you know, give them a donation for the organization there, and I think it's a great organization. I think no kids should be without toys on Christmas. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. But I didn't go down to get my mileage read either, because I know, you know, that there'll be a lot of local club members. Now I'm not really local to the chapter. You know, it's a good ride for me to get there. Let's say good ride, maybe 40-minute ride, 35, 40-minute ride, right? So it's not super far, but it was something I had to consider when it was 40 degrees out. But I still had that inkling to go riding. Did you ever do that? You get an inkling to go riding. There's a question for you today. And you're like, I just got to get the bike out. It's going to be a decent day. Today, overall, by the end of the day, it's supposed to be, it is supposed to be 60 degrees. I don't think it's going to hit it. Right now, we're at about 55. Pretty pleasant out here. So I told Mrs. HDR, I said, you know what, I'm going to throw the cold weather gear on. Break out the leather coat, which I did. As you can see, the leather coat's on today. And I am going to take the motorcycle to town to pick up my my prescriptions. So I did do that. You know you're getting older when you have to go pick up your prescriptions. So I did pick those up. I stopped at a Wendy's. I think Wendy's got one of the best deals around. I don't know if you have a Wendy's by you or not, or if you even like that kind of fast food, but they do what is called the 4 for $4. So, you know, I got a chicken sandwich, 4 nuggets, some fries, and a drink for $4.24. You can't beat that for a quickie lunch. And now I'm heading home to wash the bike off. I'm actually going to the car wash. And I knew I'd forget his name. Harry something, is it? He was watching my video. If you go through a couple of my last videos, look at the comments. He put a link in there to his video, or you'll find his video on some waterless wash that he's using. And it looks really amazing. I am going to buy a bottle. I have not bought it yet. So, being tomorrow it's supposed to start getting colder here in Pennsylvania. That's when I start getting a little antsy to, you know, get my bike taken care of, to put it in the garage, get the trickle charger plugged into her, and get her in there and, you know, cleaned a little bit. So I'm going to take her down to the car wash. I'm going to clean her off. I already put some Seafoam. I think it is Seafoam. I think it's Seafoam. If I'm not, I know I'm pronouncing it right. I don't know if I'm spelling it right. I buy it at Walmart. It's a gas treatment. I've been using it in this bike now for 3 years and have not had any problems. I only use it in the winter time. And I can tell you, I put it in first before I go for a ride. They said to ride your bike for about 20 to 30 minutes. You know, get it mixed in the carburetor or the fuel injection system and everything, whichever you have. And then before you put it away, top the tank off so there's no rust in the tank. So that's the kind of stuff I do, but I do like to get the dirt and the grime and the grit cleaned off. I hate to pull a bike out of the garage first time in the spring and have a dirty bike. I don't like leaving all that filth sitting on the bike, and I'm sure you don't either. Other than that, most of you folks know, I mean, I probably ride my bike more than I wash it. We talked about that before. And, but I do like to keep her clean. You know, I might not spend hours on the chrome and everything like some people do, but I keep her cleaned up. She looks pretty good for any rides I go on, or, you know, if I go on a group ride, I'm not embarrassed. That's the big thing. Anyway, Mrs. HDR told me, regardless of what I was doing today, she was not going on the motorcycle. She does not like to get on the bike anything under. I pretty much got her down to about 60 degrees now. So 60 degrees, she will go out, you know, for a short ride, short jaunt. She's not going to go for miles and miles at 60 degrees. But a short ride she will do. And that's a good thing. Because when you're on trips, sometimes it could be 60 in the morning. Let me navigate this intersection. Get out of here. I hate four-way stops with no... It's on the honor system, so, you know, you go, they go, you go. So anyway, Mrs. HDR decided she was going to run out to the mall and she's going to look for a few things, so that is where she went. I took the motorcycle and I went the other way. You know, so there you have it. That's my day. I mean, but it is getting colder. You can see most of the leaves are falling off the trees. Most of the trees are starting to become bare. So we know Halloween is over, so now we know we're going to be getting into the cold season. Tonight we turn the clocks back. Remember the old thought, and this took me years to figure this out. I don't think I'm a very slow learner. But somebody once said the easiest way to remember your clock, and I don't know if your part of the country you turn them, you know, back, forward. I think some parts do not touch their clocks, which I applaud you. But here in Pennsylvania, we do turn the clocks back and forward and back and forward. So anyway, the easiest way to remember that, in the fall, we fall backwards. In the spring, we spring forward. So tonight, with all intent and purposes, you get an extra hour of sleep, which is okay if I slept much. I don't believe in sleep because I believe that it's one of the most unproductive things a person can do, right? You know, unless you're dreaming up the great next new invention. But other than that, sleep is very non-productive. That's probably why I don't like eating a whole lot, because eating is also a non-productive time of the day. But it's things we must do as humans to survive. Looks like somebody's been doing a little logging back here. Still some beautiful country in here, though. These are some of the areas here where I grew up at. Just me and my buddy used to ride bicycles through here decades ago. Decades. That makes me sound so damn old. But yeah, so just beautiful countryside to ride through. And that's why I wanted to bring you on these back roads coming back home. I didn't just want to shoot down the highway. He's going to let me go, isn't he? Yep, he is. Alright. Nice guy. Thank you. Appreciate that there, old timer. Old timer? Maybe I'm an old timer. Anyway, now we're going to jump back up on here on 18. Ugh. Ugh. We normally ride in Pennsylvania. We would normally ride, it could be a cool day. You guys know by watching my videos, and if not, go back over the past 2 years that I've been doing my motovlogs, and there's a couple times I rode and you can see some spots of snow on the ground. Not on the road. We're kind of careful on the road. A lot of guys, once the salt trucks go out and start riding around, they will no longer ride. They'll park their bike, which is a good idea. It makes very good sense. That's a wonderful thing to do, is park your bike once the salt trucks hit, because salt could be very unforgiving on 2 tires. I mean, it can slide out from under you and you're gonna crash, right? So, but a lot of times I don't have that thought process. If it gets to be a day like today, if it's like 40 degrees in the winter, or 30 degree, not 30, if it gets to be 40 or 50 degrees and I get the inkling to take the bike out, I suit up and take her for a ride. It could be a short ride. And I think that's why the first year I bought a motorcycle, or a local Harley dealer, and I guess a lot of dealers do this, they store your motorcycle for winter for like $200 or $300, right? They'll take care of it, and they clean it, they change the oil, and they store it for you until spring. But now when you do that, if you get a nice day during December, or if you get a nice day during January, February, you're not riding because your bike is stuck back in storage, and they're not going to take it out for you and then put it back. That's just not the way it works. You can't blame them. But I was fortunate enough to have a garage, have a place I can put the bike, and take care of her. So some guys don't, and I can quite understand that. But if not, even look into, I used to keep my motorcycle in a storage shed. Like you buy for, you rent them for furniture or whatever. Like if you have too much stuff at your house, which a lot of us do, and you want to keep your furniture somewhere, or you're moving away, maybe you want to keep some keepsakes, then what you do is, is you keep that stuff in storage. And you can rent one of those. I rented one of those before. It was like $60 a month. But hey, my bike stayed dry, stayed clean. A little bit of a pain. Make sure if you rent a storage shed, you talk to the owner of the storage place. And make sure they're going to allow you to go in and take your bike. Go in somewhere there's a place to park your car, out of the way, so you go in and take the bike out and ride for the day. Unless it's close enough to your house you can walk, that's kind of cool. But and ours was, I could walk there, but it was kind of crappy walking up the hill. It took a lot out of you, but now anyway, like I said, I have a garage now, so it's really nice. It's easy to keep the bike in there. It's a great place for Mrs. HDR to keep her motorcycle also. We can keep both of them in the one garage bay, so. And we'll see if she ever, I have a lot of faith in Mrs. HDR, and a lot of you folks have been asking. She did not get her license this year. Excuse me. But next year she definitely will be getting her license. In the spring. I'll start looking probably in January, February for the classes to be posted, and I'll sign her up, and then she'll go out there and take the class and get her M stamp on her license for motorcycle class. And now I don't know if she'll ever buy a bike. I don't, that's probably a man's dream more than a woman's dream, right? Maybe some women, but she still likes riding it with me, and quite honestly, I like my wife riding with me on the back. I like when she goes out on the rides. I like when we went on that trip together. You know, it's definitely a form of a bond when you have your spouse on the motorcycle with you. It works out really well. Alright, well, I don't want this motor vlog getting any longer than it has to. I really got to buy some shocks for this bike next year. I think a lot of you said, I'm thinking you said Progressive shocks. Somebody said they're like $700. I don't really want to spend that much. Hopefully there's a little bit cheaper that's going to do, you know, the same great work as the Progressive shock, but these bumps kill my back anymore on this motorcycle, and that's just horrible. I need something to get a little bit more comfortable on the back end. Alright folks, I'm not going to keep you. Have a great day. I do hope I get to ride and talk to you more before, you know, the end of the actual year here, but we'll see how that turns out. This time of year, they're always start, you know, oh, a little snow, might get a snow squall, and I know the weather people say that because they don't have a clue what's going on, and they know it might snow this time of year, so you better put it out there so we're not thrown off and go, they didn't tell us this was coming, so they just tell you every day. Alright folks, have a great day today, a great day tomorrow, and if you can, get your motorcycle out there and ride a little bit, you know. If it's 50 degrees, bundle up and take a short jaunt. You don't have to go very far, just get that bike out and get her around the streets a couple times. Take care everybody, remember, ride your own ride, be safe out there. We'll talk to you next time. Harley Day Ride's gonna be down and out in the lovely 50, we'll call it 55 degree southwestern Pennsylvania. Bye bye for now.